Summer weather. Introduction. Weather can be calm and peaceful, or it can be fierce and violent. We experience fierce, violent weather in the form of storms. Every place on earth can experience some type of violent storm. We will explore types of violent storms. But first, let's look at the causes of weather. Building blocks of water. When you think of good weather, you probably think of sunshine, but you might be surprised to know that the sun is responsible for bad weather too. In fact, the sun is responsible for all weather. Let's talk about the things that make the weather what it is. The building blocks of weather. These are temperature, air pressure, wind, and moisture. Let's learn how the sun affects these things. Temperature. Weather is caused by changes in the atmosphere, the air that surrounds us. All the weather begins when energy from the sun strikes the earth. When sunlight hits the earth, it is either absorbed by the earth or reflected back into the atmosphere. The sunlight that is absorbed changes to heat. This heat comes off the earth's surface like heat from a hot stove, and it hits the air that surrounds the earth. No, not all of the earth is heated equally. Since the earth is a giant rotating ball, only half of it is facing the sun at any time. While the sun side gets heated, the dark side loses heat. In addition, some places absorb more sunlight than others. For example, if sunlight strikes a dark surface, it will be absorbed more quicker, and the surface will get hotter. To also, land heats up more quickly than water. The sun's rays also strike more directly near the equator, which means that water and land around the equator get hotter. Sunlight strikes areas around the poles at a sharp angle. Angled light does not get absorbed as much as direct light, which explains why the poles are colder. Also, the poles are covered with snow and ice, and these light-colored surfaces do not absorb sunlight as well. Air pressure. The air in the atmosphere has weight, and it is being pulled toward the earth by gravity. Because it is pulled down, it pushes against things. This is what we call air pressure. We know that cold air is heavier than warm air, and because of this, it pushes down with more pressure. This air is called high pressure air. Scientists have learned that high pressure air always moves toward warmer, low pressure air. The colder air being pulled toward the earth pushes the warmer air up. Wind is caused by the unequal heating of the earth. The unequal heating causes some air to be warmer than other air, which leads to a difference in air pressure. The unequal heating and the differences in air pressure set the air in motion, creating wind. The greater the difference in temperature and pressure between two large masses of air, the stronger the wind along the borders of these air masses. Moisture. The sun also heats water in lakes, rivers, and most importantly oceans. The sun's energy causes water to evaporate and from water vapor, which is an invisible gas. Water vapor in the air has a lot to do with the weather we experience. Warm air can hold more moisture than cold air, and cold air constantly pushes this warm, moist air upward. As this warm air rises, it cools down, and the water vapor begins to get squeezed out. When this happens, the water vapor changes to tiny water droplets that form clouds. The water droplets continue to cool and join together in clouds. In time, they get so big that they are pulled to the earth by gravity. Precipitation is the name we give to this water falling to the earth. Precipitation can be in the form of rain, snow, or ice. The kind of precipitation that falls depends on the temperature in the clouds and the temperature between the clouds and the ground. This table shows the conditions needed for different kinds of precipitation. Now that we've learned about the building blocks of weather, let's learn what happens when the conditions are extreme. Remember, violent storms happen when temperature, air pressure, wind, and moisture are extreme. Thunderstorms are the most common type of storm. They usually occur during hot, humid weather, and they form when warm, moist air rises quickly. Tall clouds form and large amounts of water vapor in these clouds form water drops very quickly. Strong wind in a thunderstorm can blow large water drops far up in the cloud, where they freeze. Then they begin to fall and collect more moisture. The wind can blow the ice pellets back up into the cloud, where another layer of water forms on the pellets. Sometimes this happens many times to the same ice pellets. Each time they get bigger until they become too heavy for the wind to blow them back up. Then they fall as hail. Hailstones the size of baseballs and grapefruits have been reported. Thunderstorms get their name from the lightning and thunder they produce. Lightning can go from one cloud to another cloud, or it can go from cloud to ground, or from ground to cloud. Lightning, which is very hot, hits the air to cause thunder. The hot air expands very quickly, which creates a shock wave. When the wave reaches your ear, you hear it as thunder. You can tell how far away lightning is by counting the number of seconds between the time you see lightning and the time you hear thunder. If you count 5 seconds, the lightning is 1.5 kilometers away from you. If you count 10 seconds, it's 3.2 kilometers away. Tornadoes, which are the strongest winds on Earth, have wind speeds that may reach 322 to 480 kilometers per hour. Tornadoes rarely last more than 1/2 hour, but they can do great damage. They can flatten buildings, pick up cars and trucks, and tear out trees by the roots. Tornadoes form when warm air rises very quickly. Cold air rushes into places to replace the rising warm air. It moves in so fast that it begins to rotate or spin, and this spinning causes a funnel cloud to form.